So it's been 1 year since I got my IB results back and posted these viral score components on Reddit. And today I thought I'd be going over this brief universal guide as to how to improve and set yourself up for success in your 2 years for the IB. So starting with the most neglected as well as important part of succeeding in the IB, your strategy. What if I told you the percentage chance of you getting a 7 in a particular subject can range all the way from 3% to 26%? A lot of people don't know this, but Physics HL, which is considered a really hard subject that students don't dare to touch, actually has like 20% minimum each year of their students getting a 7 at the HL level. Meanwhile, some subjects in the art only have a 3% chance of landing a 7. This is also a really important consideration when it comes to selecting your EE topic. For example, studies in language acquisition and language and literature had 14.7% of their students get an A. Meanwhile, those in the sciences that wrote an EE only had like 8.2% of their students getting an A. Yet, it's conventionally harder to write an EE in the sciences and mathematics as opposed to higher scoring subjects like language acquisition and language and literature. So why bother with the sciences and mathematics? Unless your passion is in those subjects and you really think you can score. Alright, so after mastering strategy, what is next? We have to learn the actual content. And this is where I will drop my hottest take in this video. I hate notes. Rather, taking them the wrong way. See, I'm not completely against notes, but I never took them for 3 of my subjects in the IB. So here's why. In the IB, you're gonna be having 6 subjects with like 300 plus pages of content for each and every single one. You don't have the luxury and time to go through all of these like thousands of pages and just write down notes, handwritten, all pretty and neat. Okay, now the first step is to look at the subjects that actually need note-taking. And these are normally the subjects where you have written responses and need to kind of have an interpretive spin on the knowledge you've built. For example, business management or economics per se. So you want to look at your textbook and look at the key definitions, the key questions, and the key kind of subtopics that you are confident will appear or might appear on your exam. You take a look at those, jot down like really quick bullet points in the messiest and quickest handwriting possible. And trust me, because you just need to have like a kinesthetic learning in your hand to kind of ingrain some of that knowledge into your brain. After that, you take the key concepts and you present them in a Q&A format in like a Quizlet flashcard system where you basically have an exam style question and then quick bullet points omitting transition and filler words, showing like almost like a rubric style. So you have like the question and then you have like different parts of your answer that guarantee a full mark in the question. Do that and then refer to those notes after, and those are really gonna boost your retention when it comes to the actual exam. So for applied subjects like mathematics, most of the time, I'm just gonna tell you don't bother with notes. They've very conveniently provided you with a formula booklet for a reason, so that they don't test memorization in maths, because that's not what maths is about. So when it comes to that, just annotate your formula booklet so that you know what is where, and then constantly practice the style of questions to familiarize yourself with the type of things that IB will throw at you. Alright, so say you've done your best to learn and retain the content that the IB could possibly throw at you, but here's how to actually apply that in an exam-based setting. So when you're taking exams, I actually advise you to do 2 things. Number 1, focus on your weakest subjects, and number 2, focus on your strongest topics within those subjects. Okay, so a lot of people don't know this, but the reason I'm telling you to pick your weakest subject to focus on is because it's actually much easier to go from say a 2 to a 3 than to a 6 to a 7. Because the gap between a 6 to a 7 is much larger than that for lower bands, like a 2 to a 3 or a 3 to a 4. So the chance of you going that extra band is gonna be higher for those subjects where you're weaker as opposed to those that you're stronger at. Alright, so why would I tell you to focus on your strongest subtopics within a subject? This is because number 1, it gives you so much more security in an exam. When you go into an exam hall, you often feel very stressed, but if you see some questions that you've obviously practiced again and again and that you feel very confident in, that takes off so much stress off your shoulders. Number 2, the IB throws you curveballs. When you see a really hard topic, normally the questions are designed to make sure that you lose marks in those areas. So instead of trying to focus on those areas, try to get those easy marks that are worth so much less time, but also the same number of actual marks. Alright, so I'm actually gonna end it here because I'm too lazy to edit or film anymore. But if you want more tips like this, I actually have this IB counseling and tutoring service that you can check out in my description down below. You can also meet me on a more personal level through a 15-minute free coffee chat. So yeah, check it out. Goodbye.